We're back again with another edition, this time clean old-fashioned hate. Georgia taking on Georgia Tech in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, 3:30 on ABC. The spread of this game, now we are recording this a little bit before we usually do, since the week is a little sped ahead. It's 12.5 right now. That's via ESPN. I don't know what app they use.
Has it moved in about a week, by the way?
Yeah, it hasn't moved, and I don't think he's going to move anymore because, and we can talk about this, the Pitt Tech game. Big moment for Tech, for them, at home, senior night game, sold-out crowd, and they just pissed down there. It was 21-0 in the second quarter, going into the second quarter.
Going in, it was 14:52 when they scored the. I think it was under 15. It just had been under 15 minutes when they scored the third touchdown.
Yeah. So, and look, Tech had a chance there to close the door, or not to close the door, but to get back into the game, tie it up. They were only down by a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, and their defense is just so god awful. The Pitt running back just scampered through the end zone. So, big moment for Tech, and as usual, Tech pisses down their legs. Where do you want to go with that?
No, as I said on our earlier broadcast this week, to me, the difference between having a program that is headed towards being significant, meaningful, and the ones that are is the level of like acrimony and being holding people accountable. There is, like you said, the biggest game Tech has had in a long time at their house at night, and to get completely manhandled. I just can't. I don't understand that. I mean, I knew their defense maybe wasn't that great, but I didn't think they were going to be that bad. And like I said, they'll look like the '85 Bears when they play us on Saturday. But if I'm Brent Key, he said, "Yeah, it's a problem. I'm going to get it fixed." Well, he went over last Saturday, and I'm not sure at this point in the season if you've got this much on tape. You're not. I don't know how much better you're going to get. I guess between now and what at the end of what are you going to do to fix that?
Yeah, it tells you how bad the ACC is. I mean, Tech. I don't think Tech is any better than they were last year. They might be a little bit better. Go and look at their schedule and who they've played. I mean, the level of competition that Georgia plays. And I know this is going to really bother Tech fans, so I like saying it, but the level that they play compared to what we play is just completely different. And their whole, right now, and this tells you what a poverty program Tech is right now, their whole program is built around one game at the end of the year. Well, there's 11 more games before that. And I honestly think the Tech players and coaches were looking ahead to Friday against Georgia, and when you had the ACC championship berth, and you had a chance to secure a playoff spot. So now you're not even going to get into the playoff because you lost the Pitt. And by the way, even if you beat us, you're not going to derail Georgia's season at all.
No.
I mean, Georgia goes from maybe having a double bye, maybe hosting a playoff game, to not hosting a playoff game and still being in the playoff. So you do nothing here. You draw nothing. So the soul of the program is just dead and decaying. It has been for years. This program has been a trash program for my whole life. They've never done anything. I mean, the time that they were ranked in the top 10 and going to probably playing they could have gotten themselves into not a better bowl game, but a higher BCS rank. They pissed down their leg and let Georgia run all over them. Shout out Caleb King and Washaun Ely. So it's just an embarrassing program. I don't know how you continue to put on your Tech clothes and still to continue to go and support that program after time and time again. And here's the other thing, too. the people at Tech don't care.
That's the part I was getting at. Because I'm going to tell you, if Georgia would have had a chance to do something like that, I believe we may have still lost, but under Rick, under Donnan, under Goff, certainly under Kirby, we would have had a better performance than that, simply because the accountability. I agree with you. I just don't see, maybe it's there and I am not seeing it, but I would be so pissed off if I was a Tech fan. This was our chance, and if y'all were looking ahead, then that's a coach's problem. I mean, that is a coaching problem, because you're in the – look, Georgia Tech, I know y'all are smarter than I am, but I'm going to explain something to you.
Well, they can't – by the way, they can't do math. I want to point that out real quick.
Y'all are in the worst fucking conference in the country. I don't care what anybody says. It's a shit show, and I'm a Southeast Conference homer, but national media is not. They have all said, it's shit. It's shit. And y'all have a chance to go and represent and be in the playoffs if you just take care of your business in your conference, and y'all are focused on something that doesn't matter. You're talking about, it matters because it's a rivalry game. But in the whole grand scheme of, exactly, you gotta have a coach and a program that understands fucking priorities. And beating Pitt is a prerequisite of everything that matters. And y'all can't figure that out and have a better performance than that. That's piss poor. It's just bad.
Yeah. And by the way, Pitt let Jeremiah Love and Notre Dame run all over them, and Tech couldn't do anything on the ground. The whole thing, their whole offense. God bless them. I really like Buster Faulkner. I really do. The whole offense is geared around Haynes King and what he can do. And if he doesn't go and he's off by just a
which he was.
It is over. And you had a team coming in that was reeling from Notre Dame, just running all over them, and you couldn't even run the ball. It's embarrassing for them. Not embarrassing for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all 4 quarters of it. And whenever y'all coming back, I was hoping that you would come back and win, just so that you felt good going into the Mercedes-Benz. But now this game is rendered useless, and it's such a And it's such a big deal to Tech too. This game is so much of a bigger game for Tech than it is for Georgia. The only time that is big for Georgia is when Tech beats us that following year. That's the only time it's really that important.
Which happens once every 8 years.
Yeah,
is that about right?
Once in a blue moon. And I should have done some research. Actually, I'll do it now. But I think now we own the longest win streak.
I don't know. Last year they had probably their best shot. I don't know. They could beat us this year. I mean, they could beat us. But after the last couple of weeks' performances that I've watched on their defense, if I'm a Tech fan, my hopes have dwindled. Especially considering if you just watch football, you know the differences between the two conferences, and you know the strength of schedule between Georgia and Georgia Tech. If I'm a Tech fan, I'm thinking, oh my God, are they going to run for 500 yards on me on Friday? And that, if Kirby can do it and physically pound y'all's ass, he's going to do it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I just want to do this real quick. So 1949, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tech had their longest streak is 8. I remember it was in the 50s with Bobby Dodd. So from 1949 to 1956, Tech had Georgia's number. They won 8 in a row. And we're at 7 right now. We're at 7 right now. The last time they won was 2016. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 in a row for Georgia. Georgia does this. They tie the longest win streak in this series, and then if they win next year, they break Tech's record. So for Tech, I think this is an important moment, right? They needed, history-wise, it'd be good for them to win. In the past couple of years, you got to think last year we had that 8 overtime game Certainly, Tech should have won that game. They had every opportunity to win that game. Again, they're not finishers. They're not closers. Coffees for closers. And they lost. And then in 23, they had the moral victory of, they took the number one team in the country who had Brock Bowers was out. Lad McConkey was out. A lot of our defensive guys were out too, resting for a game that we ended up losing. And they lost by 8, right? 31-23. And then in 22, I was there for that game that at Sanford Stadium. They kind of came in and punched Georgia in the mouth whenever I don't think Georgia was expecting anything. That was Brent Key's first game as he was at the time interim head coach, and I said to the people with me at that game, Tech looks like tougher than whenever they had this guy instead of Jeff Collins. So they have been playing better in this series, but it's just a nothing burger.
Well, I will tell you, it's just like Kirby says. You're going to get everybody's best shot, and that's going to be intensified even more from Tech. So you're going to get their best game. I would not be banking on Haynes King because he almost single-handedly beat us last year, and I think they're even more relying on him this year based on what I've seen. I wouldn't rely on him having an off day on Friday. But we've got to be able to run the ball, and we've got to be able to stop them. So if Haynes King adds an element that Georgia has trouble with, Max, they always have. A quarterback under Kirby, and even going back to Alabama, a quarterback that is a legitimate dual threat and can stretch you vertically, and add the power run and all that. Those types of quarterbacks give Kirby and this defense trouble. So I fully expect we're going to have our hands full on Saturday.
I know I'm talking a lot, but and very confidently. Look, Buster Faulkner, I think he knows all the nooks and crannies on Kirby's defense. That's been proven the past 2 years. They've done a really good job at stretching Georgia's defense. And Haynes King, I'm very, 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 very happy that it's his last year playing for Tech because I don't want to see him ever again. I think I have tremendous respect, as Kirby would say, I have great respect for what Buster Faulkner, what Brent Key. In all honesty, I think Brent Key's an idiot, but I think he's a good coach. I really do.
I do too.
And I think Haynes King's a great college quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from those three things. Everything else about Tech stinks to high heaven. And you might be right. Haynes King could give Georgia trouble. I think Isaiah Canyon, the wide receiver, number 4 for Tech, I like him a lot too. I really wish Georgia had him. I know Georgia was recruiting him. I would love to have him. But just not – it's just not – like, if Georgia can get 2 stops, that's ball game. And, by the way, if they get 2 stops, that's 14 points more than likely for Georgia to win by. So, because the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. I mean, they
haven't been able to the last 2 weeks. But
look,
like
man,
I said,
you might be right. You could be very – I'll give you all the credit in the world. That you might be right. But tackling is about want to and wanting to tackle. And if they don't want to fucking tackle Pitt, I don't know how – and NC State, how do you want to tackle Georgia in 4 quarters when it's over and over again?
I mean, just like I've predicted for all of Georgia's season this year after watching them play, and I've been wrong. I've been right more than I've been wrong, but I've been wrong the last couple of weeks. Not last week necessarily, but
I've been right.
But I expect a knife fight up until about midway through the third quarter, and I think because of the physical dominance and us just pounding on them, I think we'll pull away and win by 10 to 14 points. But I think for 3.5 quarters, and if we're off and our offense is off, But the thing about Georgia that gives me a little bit more confidence, we're so multiple. I mean, we don't have to run the ball to beat you. It'd be nice because it opens up our play action, but we don't have to. So to me, and then Tex, like you said, they are so reliant on Haynes King. It gives me a little bit more confidence, but I fully expect this to be a knife fight up until the middle of the third quarter.
I wouldn't be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because here this game could go down two ways to me. Two ways. One, you get Tech's best effort, A+ game, and we come out, and it could happen. I doubt it could happen though, with Georgia playing a B- to C+ game. That could very much happen. But if Georgia plays their A game and Tech plays their A game, it'll be tight, like you said, till the third quarter, and then it's on, it's over. The other thing that could happen, and I don't think a lot of people are thinking about this because it's a rivalry game, but Tech's soul was just snatched out of their body. I mean, everything that they had in front of them, they're gone. And by the way, if they're really being honest with themselves, even if they beat Georgia, they're still not going to get into the playoffs, and they're still not going to ruin Georgia's season. So now you're looking at the Birmingham Bowl at birth and really nothing else going for you. They could come out and it might be fake juice and they try to punch Georgia. It doesn't land. Georgia throws a couple of punches and they're dead by the time the second quarter rolls around. That could very much happen.
It could, and I would say if it wasn't a rivalry game and Brent Key didn't make so much about this being the Super Bowl of their season, which I think is a mistake for him. He needs. Yeah. I get why he's done that up till now, but now I think that's misdirected. But because of those reasons, rivalry game, and you said defense and tackling is want to, and the importance the players, the culture at Tech put on this. I expect them to have the want to, but you never know on 23 or 18 to 23-year-olds. That was a terrible loss. If they understand the significance of that loss, it should really be disheartening to them. It would be for me as a player. I would try to be rah-rah and all that bullshit and, hey, let's finish the season out. Yeah, but my heart at the end of the day is we just dropped our candy, boys. Ain't nothing we can do now.
Yeah, and that's – if I was a betting man and I had money, that I would be betting on fake juice, and they can't counter Georgia's punches. I just think they're that type of program. And here's the thing: the defensive problems like tackling, yeah, but there's guys like out of position. There's miscommunication. I mean, I've watched every game of Tech's, and if Tech fans are honest, which I know a couple that are, they'll tell you their defense has gotten worse as the season's progressed, and they're not communicating. They look confused out there. They're missing assignments. They're out of place. Those things are not going to fix themselves all because you're magically going to fix themselves when you play Georgia because it's your rival. And a lot of people will point to Michigan and Ohio State and say, well, Michigan has done that to Ohio State where they've had terrible seasons recently, and then they beat Ohio State. Well, the thing is, Michigan's tougher than Ohio State. Michigan knows that if you take Ohio State to the deep end, they fold. That's what the whole program is built on, is taking the other guy out to the deep end and see who can survive. And Tech wants to do that, and they can't do that. And I think it's just it's going to be really, really, really hard for Georgia Tech to win this game. And I just don't. I mean, unless we have multiple turnovers, they don't turn the ball over, they have an A+ game, and their defense plays the best game they played all season, then that's how Tech would win. And I don't think that can happen Saturday.
I tend to agree with you, but I would say they got a better than a puncher's chance because of all those. I mean, because of all those reasons. Georgia's slow starts. If we turn the ball over, and they have their best game, meaning Tech, yeah, they can beat us, no doubt.
Yeah, but the talent's not on the same level. So
I totally agree with that.
at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And that, honestly, that's what has been frustrating to me as a Georgia fan the past 2 seasons, where we are much more talented and Tech kind of hangs around. So either we're not taking Tech seriously and we kind of see them as a joke, which, it's easy to do. Jokes write themselves. But we're not taking them seriously and we're looking ahead. Really, there's no reason to look ahead because next week's not a guarantee at all. So there should be no reason for Georgia to be in a look-ahead spot or to overlook Tech. I think last year was enough of a sign for us to be like, well, we got to take these guys seriously and beat their brains in.
I hope so. Just get, like the rest of this regular season, get out of there with a W and nobody hurt, and we'll figure out the rest from there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, all right. Let's talk about all right. Let's do this, then we'll talk about the rest of the slate. Georgia is favored by 12.5. The over/under is 59.5. Woo! Give us your score prediction.
I'm going to say Georgia 42, Tech 24.
All right.
So I'd go with the over.
Yeah, that's probably a smart idea. I think Georgia's defense has played a lot better. I think Tech's strength on offense is running the ball. And I know they do a lot of misdirection and pulls and traps, and it's confusing. Nick Saban was really harping on that on game day, which, by the way, nothing worse to me than college game day trying to break down film. I'm good. Thank you. Shout out how bad Pat McAfee is. But I'll take Georgia. God, when's the last time we scored 42? We almost scored 42 against... Did we... No, we didn't score 42 against Texas, did we?
No.
How much did we win by? It was a 35. How much did we score against Texas?
35-14, wasn't it?
35-10. We haven't scored 42. We didn't even score 42 against Mississippi State. That was 41.
How about Ole Miss? I thought
Ole Miss was 43. That was the last time.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. So Ole Miss was the last time Georgia hit the over the 42 mark. I'll say Tech's defense can't stop anybody. So I'll say Georgia 45, Tech 17.
Both of us are on the over.
I think the over is going to hit. I think Georgia's going to cover pretty comfortably. And if Haynes King has a good night, maybe it's a lot tighter than what I think. But you're just playing into Georgia's strengths here, and I don't see it happening.
If Haynes King has a good night, our linebackers especially and defensive backs don't have good eye discipline, which has been a challenge this year.
For sure.
And we turn the ball over, yeah, it could be a lot closer than what we're saying. But I feel fairly confident that Georgia.
I'm a 9.7 going in to this.
Oh,
game.
I'm not that high.
Oh,
I'm a 7.6.
Yeah. Well, good for y'all. Tech is such a loser program. Their whole program's just full of losers. And by the way, you brag about how great your education is. Now Georgia's even with you on the education field. And by the way, brings more into the state money-wise. You got corrected. Some Tech fan on Twitter was like, Tech brings in more money than Georgia does for the economy of Georgia. Well, you were off by $3 billion. So good job. I don't know what you have to brag about.
I don't even understand. That premise can't be right. There's no way. I mean, if you go back and look at what national championships have meant to the state of Alabama, they're massive. And last time I checked, Tech ain't won any, and we've won 2 just recently. So that in terms of the economy, that's massive. So anybody that says that, they may be good at math, but their thought process is fucked.
Well, yeah, because Tech is just full of losers, Loserville. And they don't have a good NIL base and alumni base because they're all out of this country. So, way to go, Tech. All right, enough about Loserville. Ole Miss goes to Stark Vegas. Ole Miss is favored by 6.5. Mississippi State needs this to get into a bowl game. It's a noon kick before Georgia and Georgia Tech play. What are your feelings on this?
Well, I would normally say that Ole Miss would win this by double digits, but considering that Lane Kiffin is diddling with LSU and Florida, and I don't know how serious he is about Florida, but it sounds like LSU. I've seen Mississippi State. I think it's important I think it's more important, or I don't know about more important. I think it's really important for Mississippi State and that coach to get off to a good start. And I think Ole Miss is right for the taking. So I'm going to take the points and take Mississippi State. I think Ole Miss will win, but I think it's going to be a tight game.
I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to take Mississippi State straight up. I'll take them money line. I think Mississippi State might pull this off. I think they will. By the way, the over-under 62.5.
Wow. Yeah. Well, neither team has a good defense. Yeah.
So I'll take Mississippi State. I think they're due. I don't know when's the last time they won it. It's been a while. But this game is chaotic. There's always chaos. There's a fight. Someone does something.
Rubbing their butt on the goalpost.
Yeah. There's
taking a leak on
it. Someone's going to shoot somebody. It's going to be a wild chaos circus. So I side with Mississippi State, the home team, in that situation. All right. Yeah, you watch Georgia just trounce Georgia Tech. You're feeling good as a Georgia fan. You feel like, hey, we might get a double bye here. Georgia's sitting pretty. 7:30 next game. A&M goes to Texas. A&M's favored by 2.5. They go to Austin. Texas looked a lot better last week against Arkansas. I know they're bad, but they looked a lot better after getting just beaten by Georgia. Who do you have in this game?
Well, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Texas A&M and give up the points. I don't even care what the points are. But after watching Texas A&M over the last couple of weeks, I don't think they're getting better. I think they're going to Texas. I saw back when I watched Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton in Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, I saw how important this game was. I think Texas is going to pull this game out. I just have a feeling. I don't know what it is. I think Arch Manning is going to have his coming out party against A&M. That's what I think.
Yeah, I do too. If you look at A&M's schedule outside of Notre Dame, who have they played? I mean, all the teams that they played are either coaches been fired or they're just having a really bad
bottom
season.
Feeders of the SEC, right?
Yeah. So Texas, to their credit, they've had to play teams that have a pulse, and they played a little bit of a better schedule this year compared to last year. I think Texas is going to beat them. I wouldn't be shocked if Texas wins by 10 points. So I wouldn't be shocked by that at all. All right. So, by the way, there is a world out there where Georgia plays A&M still in the SEC championship.
Sure, there is.
Yeah. Well, even if A&M, if the way we predict it goes, think about it. If Mississippi State beats Mississippi, and then Alabama loses to Auburn, it still means Georgia and A&M play in the SEC championship.
Yeah, or A&M wins and Auburn beats Alabama.
Yeah,
I guess it's
there's
there
that
too.
world. It's a scary world to live in. I don't like it. All right, Ohio State goes to Ann Arbor. Ohio State's Ohio State's favored by 9.5 going into the Big House. Michigan's won 3-4 in a row. 2021 is when they won it. So, yeah, 4 in a row. Your pick.
I know I should probably care about this game because Ohio State and whatever. I just find it so difficult to watch the Big Ten this time of year, especially. I don't know. I just don't find it good football to me. I'll watch, and I don't know, I haven't watched Michigan play that much, but I know Michigan's had their number, and they're playing at Michigan, and I would like to see Ohio State lose. I'll take Michigan in the points, but I think Ohio State wins, hangs on.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I think Michigan probably covers the spread. I think that's a lot. 9.5 in a rivalry, especially with Michigan being okay. I'll take Michigan in the points. I'll take Ohio State to win. Would not be shocked, though. Would not stun me at all.
Oh, no, at all.
Would not stun me at all. So I think that you got two things going at once. All right. I know neither one of us really care about this game. It's just a point of interest. Miami goes to Pitt, playing in Acrisure, or Heinz Field, as it should be called. Miami's favored by 6.5. You want to pick it?
I'm not a believer in that coach. I'm not a believer in Carson Beck. They're not in the playoffs, right? They're outside looking in, right?
They have a shot though if they win this game.
They got to win.
Get to the ACC title.
Maybe it's just because I want to. I'll take Pitt.
Well, the temperature in Pittsburgh on Saturday is going to be a high of 34 and a low of 25.
Whew.
I'll take Pitt because of the weather. Help Pitt. And you know what? I'll take Pitt to win.
Me too.
All right. Huh?
I said me too.
Okay. Well, let's see. This is scary. We're all on the same boat here. Clemson going to Columbia. South Carolina not making a bowl game. They're 2.5-point favorites. Clemson needs this to get to a bowl. I feel like South Carolina's dead in the water. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll take Clemson. I'll take Clemson in the points. Dabo needs to get a bowl game. This is a program-defining game. I think Clemson will win this game.
Well, here's what I would say. I believe this team has quit on Shane Beamer. That's what I believe. And I don't know if they quit on Dabo. I don't think they have. So, but just because I believe the Southeastern Conference is such a better conference than Clemson, and this is a rivalry game, I don't think they'll be playing for Shane Beamer. I think they'll be playing for South Carolina. I'm going to pick South Carolina.
Well, I'm glad we finally differed on a pick here because they just need it. All right, let's go quickly here. Oregon, Washington. Oregon's a 6.5-point favorite. Oregon's going up to Seattle to play Washington.
I've been, again, I haven't watched a ton of their games, but I've been mildly disappointed in Oregon. I thought they were going to be better. But I'm going to pull for Dan Lanning because I like him, so I'll pick Oregon.
Well, I didn't like the comments that Dan Lanning made Saturday about the SEC whenever he talked all glowingly not too long ago as a defensive coordinator at Georgia about the SEC.
That's PR shit.
I know, but it bothered me. So for that, I'll take Washington to cover, Oregon to win. But Washington has a good offense. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington pulls an upset, which would be huge in the playoff and how that works out. All right, quickly.
Probably opens up another spot for the SEC.
Yeah, it does. LSU goes to Norman to play Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a 10.5-point favorite. Pick.
I'll take Oklahoma and lay the points.
Real quick, does LSU need this to make a bowl game? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they have 7 wins. Okay, I'll take Oklahoma. LSU barely beat Western Kentucky, which boy, how embarrassing was that? So I'll take Oklahoma, which I really don't like. I don't think they are a playoff team, but somehow
I think their defense is. Their defense is.
Look, there's 3 phases to a football game, and 2 of the phases are awful. All right, Vandy goes to Knoxville to play Tennessee. Tennessee's a 2.5-point favorite. Vandy needs this to kind of stay within a shot of making the playoff. Pick.
I'm going to pick Tennessee. I think Tennessee at home. I don't think Vandy's quite there yet. I'm impressed with what the coach has done and Pavia and all that. It's a cute story. But at the end of the day, Tennessee has better athletes. They're playing at home, and therefore I'll take Tennessee.
I agree with you. Tennessee should win this game. If you're a Tennessee fan, I get why you're confident going into this, even though it's probably stupid why you're confident. They got the better athletes. I think they have the better team. So I'll take Tennessee. It's going to be tight. I don't know if I would take Tennessee in the points. I might not pick that, but I definitely do.
It's 2.5, right? They're only giving up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take it.
I think it could be a 1-point game is what I'm saying to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that
shocked.
close.
I think it might be a little closer than what people are expecting. All right. What? Damn, a lot. Florida State on Cartoon Network. I'm joking. We're not going to pick that game. Why waste our time on that? All right. Alabama goes into the dark voodoo magic of Jordan Hare senior night.
Jordan Hare.
What did I say?
Jordan, like Michael, is Jordan.
Whatever. It's Jordan. Jordan Hare Stadium. Voodoo Magic, Black Magic. Alabama, the past 2 times that they've played at Auburn, they've needed miracles to win.
What's the spread? I'm sorry. Alabama gives up how much?
6.5.
Okay.
Auburn stinks. Auburn sucks. Alabama fans are they are really worried about this one. I had to talk to an Alabama fan just for research on this game, and he said his pucker factor was a 10. So that should tell you all you need to know. I think, and he's an alumnus. So I think Alabama fans are really worried about this, especially with the running quarterback that Auburn has. I still think Alabama's a much better team.
Me too.
And I think Alabama will cover this, and I don't think it's going to be relatively close.
What's his name? The coach, DeBoer?
DeBoer, yeah.
If he loses this, they'll hang his ass off a bridge before they get back to Tuscaloosa. So I'm just telling you that for that to happen, when everything's in front of Alabama, you already hear Nick Saban never would have lost that game. So you've got that if you're Kalen DeBoer, and I agree with you. Auburn's a dumpster fire. I get the voodoo and all that bullshit. But Alabama's got everything in front of them. They got a chance to win the Southeastern Conference. They're going to play in it. That they just take care of business. They should smoke Auburn. They should smoke them. So
yeah, they should.
I would take Alabama and give up the points.
Yeah, I think Alabama should win this game. I don't think it's going to be relatively that close. I mean, I get it. There is
the history and all that.
Yeah, the history and how the fuck Jordan whatever.
Jordan.
On the plains of Auburn, it's hard to play. It's a tough place to play. I mean, look, Georgia didn't have its best game in that first half, and they still won and they could have won by a lot more. So, and that was early in the season, and they had a head coach at that point. So, not much of one, but they had one. If would it surprise you if Auburn makes it a ball game? Wouldn't me.
Makes it a ball game? No, it wouldn't surprise me. If they beat them, yeah, I would be mildly shocked. And like I said, if Alabama doesn't win a national championship and look like they can win it the first 2 games of the next season, if they lose this game, and I don't give a shit what they do. If they win the national championship, okay. But I'm telling you, the fans in Alabama are going to go apeshit bananas if they lose this game.
By the way, if they do lose this game, or if it looks close and they still somehow don't get into the playoffs, because there is a world where they play in the SEC championship, lose to A&M, still don't get into the playoff.
We know how that feels, Bama.
Yeah, the playoff they would love nothing. I'm going to go into the conspiracy theory. They would love nothing more than to do that, to leave Alabama out. DeBoer will be gone. He won't be fired. He'll go and take a Penn State, or he'll take another job. He won't stay around. It would be dumb for him to stay around like that. So I'll point that out. All right, so we have Georgia winning. After this week, we'll have to do some filler. We'll talk about our picks. And
the playoff picture will be a lot more clear
for sure. And
so
then,
we can talk about
does
that.
Georgia play in the SEC championship? We'll talk about that all next week. And enjoy Thanksgiving. Hopefully Georgia plays well, and we'll see everyone on the. Oh wait, I totally forgot. Before you leave, remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Terminus Sports _ATL. Give us a subscribe, like, follow us. Give us everything that you need for free. It's all for free, and we appreciate it. It takes minimum effort, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
See ya.
See ya.